in terms of price only, I think this is the most expensive IM that I have ever reviewed on this channel. So hello and welcome to Aftersound Review, and this is my review for one of Empire Year's most, I would say, arguably most popular IM, the Empire Year's Odin, that was their flagship on 2020, and it cost around $3,400 US. So yes, this is definitely high-end IM. And just like usual, I'll break down this review from the build, fit, frequency, response, sound, and comparison. Now, talking about the build quality of this IM, well, even though it costs $3,400, well, the build quality is not really, I would say it's not really premium, even though the faceplate is just, I don't know, over the top like this. It's so overwhelming, I think, with this psychedelic kind of color. It's really hypnotizing. But it's all made of resin, and it's just like the usual resin. It doesn't feel really heavy or really durable in that matter. So if you have ever tried any of the audio lineup, you will, yeah, it's just the same. It's just a little bit chunkier than normal, but in terms of build quality only, yeah, it's just normal resin, but it does feels like a good quality resin. And after that, you get this, the cable is braided and also covered in fabric. I get info that this is a PW Audio Stormbreaker that itself costs around $1,300. So it's a premium cable, but honestly, even though it's using premium cable, but the cable itself looks humble, and fortunately it's quite flexible and not really stiff or anything like that. But nevertheless, for short, the build quality is just okay. Now, if you have seen my reviews, I always say that I have small ears. So yes, indeed, I do have problem when wearing them. You could see that how big they are, how chunky they are in my ears. And I do feel the kind of pressure towards my ears. And the ear gate itself, I don't know why they make this kind of rectangular-ish shape. It doesn't really help with the when I'm yanking them. So yeah, the fit is not the best, but well, I could wear them maybe for around 1 or 2 hours without any problem. After that, it will be kind of uncomfortable. Now, regarding the frequency response or the measurement of this IM, well, I could say that this IM somehow can be categorized as V-shaped-ish. Well, the emphasis of the frequency for this IM is not about the bass and treble, but rather the bass and also the upper mid-range that feels really intense. So the thing, when you hear this IM from the beginning, it's a very impactful, highly resolving, but also at the same time it also feels kind of attacking you. Well, in some songs it feels amazing, it feels really highly resolving and really, you know, immersive like that. But on some other songs, it kind of feels fatiguing. But now let's talk about the bass first. Well, the bass of this IM is using 2 dynamic driver, one for mid bass and one for sub bass. And I feel that the bass is really coherent and it has a really beautiful punch that can go deep, but also fast, and the dynamics and impact is really high quality in this. So it's really lovely bass, and I really love this kind of bass, and it fits a lot of music, whether you're playing EDM, rocks, or simply anything. It never goes bleed into the mid-range, but you always feel that impactful bass. I love it. Now, for the mid-range area, I would say that this is the double-edged sword vocal, because the thing is about the mid-range, it's really forward. It's very forward, but also resolving at the same time. So you do feel that it's a really forward mid-range and also very clear mid-range. So no matter what kind of music I throw at this IM, whether it's male vocal or female vocal, it always feels attacking. It always feels really forward, to the point that personally for me it's borderline shouty, or even simply shouty for some music. For example, I really couldn't stand hearing them when I'm playing This Is Me from Keala Settle. In the refrain, she really screams and really showing her power through the music, but this IM shows a little bit too much power, to the point that it's simply fatiguing for my ears. But for some other music, it could brings a lot of energy from the music to you. It's just I have it's really subjective, but for this forwardness, it's just simply already shouty for me, but maybe not for you. Again, this is a matter of sensitivity. This simply a really good resolving and attacking forward mid-range, but it's too much for me. Now regarding the treble, even though they are using 4 electrostatic driver, but actually it doesn't really go overly or really highly extended. There are some rolled off around the upper treble from this IM, but before that roll off, the mid treble and also the lower treble of this IM is also really highly resolving. It's not attacking like in the mid-range area, but it's much more I would say it has that kind of subtlety, but really detailed in a good way. So really, I kind of like this kind of treble, but personally for me, I just like a bit of that upper treble extension. But nevertheless, it's really high resolving. You get a lot of micro details here and there. It's just not really extended overall. So overall, for the tonality of this IM, I would say that this is really amazing for some people. It has a really nice bass punch, bass forwardness, also mid-range is forward and really clear, and also the treble, even though it's not overly extended, but it's really detailed and clear as hell. So it's kind of tiring for me to listen to them actually. Maybe I could stand them for maybe around listening for maybe 1 hour, but after that, it's just simply too tiring for me because the amounts of energy it brings me. But again, it really depends on person to person regarding their sensitivity for this kind of forwardness. But as objectively saying, this is a really good IM in terms of clarity and dynamics and impact. Now, the thing that I really get also from this IM when I hear them is their technicalities. It's just at the first time I really listen to them, I cannot help but feel, whoa, this is really a highly resolving IM, high resolution, the bass is clearly defined, the mid-range is amazingly clear, treble is highly detailed, and every note definition is really defined clearly. So yeah, simply said, this is simply, if you are comparing this IM to a lot of IMs that I have ever tried, this is up there. This is definitely up there amongst the best, like the Tia Vorte or even the QDC Anole VX. It's up there amongst my best top choice IM when it comes to technicality. It's just amazingly detailed, and also it has this kind of immersiveness because of that bass impact and also that mid-range clarity. I don't know, it feels like I'm in a room with a lot of details and a lot of information from the song. It's really immersive. It's like bringing you to the music and attacking you with all the notes, all the details inside the music. It also have this, well, the thing is, when I'm hearing this time, when I'm trying Hans Zimmer music or movie soundtracks, it also feels really wide, and also really it has a really great depth to it. So it's definitely, I get a 3-dimensional presentation. So there's no doubt about it that this IM is really high in terms of technicality. Now, how is it compared to some of the high-end IMs that I've ever tried? Well, let's compare them with the 64 or the U12T. Well, the U12T costs $1,000 less than this Empire Ears Odin. But for me, actually, they are on the same level of technical. This just they are different. The 64 or the U12T is somehow sounds more layered and separated, and somehow, yeah, I could hear a little bit more micro details here and there. Maybe it's because it sounds more linear and balanced overall. But in this Empire Ears Odin, it sounds more impactful and also more immersive. So I would say that it has more wow effect compared to the U12T. But U12T is like, the more you listen to them, the more you feel that, no, I never heard that kind of details before. So there are two different kinds of technical here. One is more about separation and layers, and one more is about the immersiveness, 3-dimensional and imaging. But which one that I like the most? I still prefer the U12. Simply said, because the tonality of the Empire's Odin, it doesn't really match with my preference. The mid-range is just simply too forward for my taste, while the U12 is just simply really good already, and I could hear them all day. But it does sound more boring compared to the Empire's Odin that has much more energy. Now, how is it compared to one of my favorite IM like the 64 U4SL? Well, the U4S here, it's no question when you're hearing them both that it's clear that the Odin is just it's just better on every level in terms of technicality. It's more the note definition, it's clearly better. The impacts and transitions, you can hear them better on the Empire's Odin. But again, I would say that hearing them both, I'm trying them for 2 hours each, and for 1 hour it's already really fatiguing when I'm wearing this Empire. It's just simply too much. The mid-range attack and overall energy, it's just too much for me with this Empire Ears Odin, while the U4S is just simply my preference. The mid-range is more, I would say it's more laid back, but the treble is somehow a little bit more airy. The bass, I definitely like the Emperor's Odin better, but the U4S is still one of the great IMs in terms of bass. It's just well controlled, but also immersive at the same time. So, nevertheless, I would say, even though I would say that definitely the Empire Odin is above the U4S in any way when I'm comparing them in terms of overall objective technical, but in terms of subjective preference and tonality, I would say that yeah, I still like the U4S better. So in the end, what can I say about this Empire's Odin? Well, it's one of the IM that really will impress a lot of people at first listen, because it's really showing up all of its energy at first listen. It's immersive, it's impactful, its dynamics is really clear. But when I'm hearing them for more than 1 hour, I cannot help but feel that this Empire Odin, even though it is so amazing in terms of technical, it never matched my preference. And it's one of the cases that why I'm more of a tonal than technical guy. I simply prefer my U4S. Should you try them? Oh, for sure, yes. This is one of the IM that it's up there. It's on top of my list in terms of objective technical and objective scoring, but in terms of subjective preference, it's just not there. So I hope you enjoyed this review. This is really about objectivity and subjectivity. Objectively, it's amazing IM. Subjectively, I will never buy this IM even though I have a lot of monies. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.